You have been in a room where you said something you knew was right, and people looked at you like you just walked in from another planet. Not because you were wrong, because you were the only one who was not pretending. Most people will tell you that intelligent people are just misunderstood. The world is not ready for them. That someday people will catch up. It's a comforting story. It's also incomplete. Nietzsche didn't say, intelligent people accidentally look like fools. He said the fool's mask is the price of seeing reality clearly. The crowd is not laughing at your stupidity. It's laughing at your threat. There's a difference, and that difference changes everything. In this video, we are going into Nietzsche's actual texts, The Gay Science, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, and Beyond Good and Evil. Not the Instagram quotes, the real thing, the one thing Nietzsche actually concluded about all of this. Not the inspiring version, the honest version. It's not a solution, it's a question. And most people, even the ones watching this video right now, won't be able to answer it. Picture the scene, a marketplace, broad daylight. A man runs in, lantern in hand, screaming that the world has changed forever. And the crowd laughs. Not because he's wrong, but because he's early. And early to a crowd that is not caught up yet looks exactly like insane. Here's the question nobody asks. Were you in that crowd? Not in Nietzsche's story, in your own life. Think about the last time someone said something uncomfortable, something that didn't fit, and you dismissed it, rolled your eyes, moved on, because that's what the crowd always does. The madman was not mocked for being insane. He was mocked for being inconvenient. Nietzsche didn't see the fool as a failure. He saw him as the only honest man left in the room. By the end of this video, you won't feel better about being misunderstood. You'll understand exactly why it can't be fixed, and why that's entirely the point. There's one thing Nietzsche wrote that every self-help channel deliberately ignores. Not because they missed it, because the answer isn't comforting. It doesn't end with embrace who you are. It ends with a question that most people, even the ones who pride themselves on thinking deeply, quietly, walk away from. We'll get there. But first, you need to understand something more fundamental. Why does the crowd laugh at all? Not in philosophy, not in theory, in your office, your family dinner, your friend group. Why does the room always turn on the person who sees clearest? That madman is still out there. Lantern still burning. Keep that image in mind. Every time you said the obvious thing, the thing everyone was thinking, and the room went quiet, you assumed you said it wrong. You didn't. You said it too clearly. Nietzsche had a name for what happened in that room. Not cruelty, not jealousy, biology. The herd doesn't punish stupidity. It punishes deviance. One animal moves against the current. The herd doesn't ask why. It reads that animal as a malfunction. That's the system. And you've been living inside it your whole life without knowing the rules. When someone calls you weird or too much, they're not describing you. They're describing their discomfort with someone who stopped needing their approval. Because if you don't need the herd's validation means nothing. And that is an existential problem for people whose identity depends on it. But Nietzsche goes further. He called it slave morality, and it's not what you think. It's not a weakness, it's a takeover. The herd took everything it couldn't achieve and renamed it. Ambition, arrogance, clarity, coldness, independence, instability. The fool isn't the one who got it wrong. The fool is whoever the crowd needed to appoint one. So, the crowd mocks what it fears. But here's what nobody tells you. The intelligent person makes it worse. Not by being arrogant, by doing something far more threatening. They stop explaining themselves entirely. And that silence, that's what Nietzsche called the most dangerous thing a person can do. The higher man, Nietzsche's Übermensch, doesn't inherit a moral framework. He builds one. And a man building his own rules will always look lawless to people still following someone else's. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Zarathustra descends from the mountain, not to ask permission, not to fit in, to give. The crowd doesn't reject him because he's empty. They reject him because they have no container for what he's offering. You can't hand someone a frequency they've never tuned to. They won't hear music. They'll hear noise. You don't look like a fool because you're confused. You look like a fool because you stopped asking the crowd what to think. and they've never forgiven you for it. Nietzsche called the consequence of this pathos of distance, and it's not what it sounds like. It's not arrogance. It's not superiority. It's the gap that opens naturally, inevitably, when one person sees what everyone around them refuses to look at. The higher man doesn't choose the distance. The distance is the result of seeing clearly in a world that profits from blur. Here's the trap nobody warns you about. The more you try to explain yourself, to close that gap, the wider it gets. Because the crowd doesn't want the answer. They want you to stop asking the question. Your silence reads as madness, but your explanation reads as a threat. Either way, you lose. Inside a game you never agreed to play. Nietzsche wasn't describing an elite. He was describing anyone who ever looked at the world honestly and paid the social price for it. So the higher man stays silent. The crowd mistakes his silence for emptiness. History keeps moving. But here's what's fascinating. This isn't just Nietzsche's theory. This is a pattern that has repeated itself exactly across centuries. And the proof is uncomfortable, because you already know these names. This is not just philosophy. This is a pattern, and it has repeated exactly without exception across every century that has ever produced a person who saw too clearly. Take Socrates. Nietzsche had complicated feelings about him, but the historical record is simple. Athens didn't execute Socrates because he was wrong. They executed him because he was right, and his questions made the right people look foolish. His crime was not impiety. His crime was visible clarity in a city built on comfortable illusions. The Athenians didn't debate him. They sentenced him. Because you don't argue with a mirror, you break it. The fool's mask is always temporary. History corrects the record. The crowd never apologizes. Now, look at Nietzsche himself. Beyond Good and Evil, published in 1886, sold 114 copies in the first year. Called a madman, a nihilist, a dangerous eccentric. After his death, his own sister distorted his work to serve Nazi propaganda. The man who spent his life diagnosing the herd's sickness was consumed by it. He knew. He wrote, "Some men are born posthumously." That madman running through the marketplace with a lantern, that wasn't fiction. That was an autobiography. He didn't write for his generation. He wrote for you. And that should tell you something about the price of clarity. So, the pattern is real. The crowd laughs. The thinker stays silent. History rewrites the verdict. But here's the part every motivational channel skips. Because what Nietzsche actually concluded at the end of all this, it isn't inspiring. It's a challenge. And most people fail it. Remember the lantern? We're back here now. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Zarathustra comes down from the mountain, full, overflowing, ready to give everything he's found. He walks into the marketplace, and the crowd laughs. Not because he's empty, because they have no container for what he's carrying. Here's what he does next. He doesn't argue, he doesn't explain, he doesn't try harder. He walks away, and finds the one person in the crowd still watching. That's the thing every self-help channel skips. Nietzsche's answer to being mocked isn't resilience, it's selection. The fool's mask doesn't just mark you as different. It clears the room of everyone who was never going to understand you anyway. The lantern the madman carried was never for the crowd. It was for the one person in the dark who recognized the light. The fool isn't the last man standing, he's the first man who stopped performing for an audience that was never going to stay. Here's what Nietzsche actually said. Not the poster version, the real one. He didn't say you'd eventually be understood. He didn't say the crowd would come around. He said, understanding yourself completely, clearly, without flinching, was enough. But he also said, almost no one can actually do it. The will to power isn't about domination. It's not about winning. It's about the willingness to become, fully, completely, without permission. Even when that becoming costs you belonging, that's the price, and it doesn't go away. The fool's appearance doesn't fade once you've read enough philosophy. The crowd doesn't eventually applaud. The distance doesn't close. You just become someone who can afford it. But here's the uncomfortable part, the part that should make you pause. Most people who think they've chosen clarity haven't. They've chosen the aesthetic of clarity. They like the idea of being the misunderstood genius, the lone thinker. The person is too deep for this world, but that's still a performance, just for a different crowd. Nietzsche had a name for that too. He called it the last man, the one who thinks he's risen above the herd while quietly, desperately still needing it to watch. So we're back. The marketplace, the lantern, the man no one understood. Nietzsche never told us what he found. He left the question open, deliberately, because the answer was never his to give. Do you carry the lantern because you see something real, or because you like how it looks in the dark? Sit with that. No answer needed right now. Nietzsche said some men are born posthumously. The question isn't whether you believe that. The question is whether you're actually one of them, or just hoping you are. If this is the kind of thinking you want more of, not comfort, not motivation, just the ideas that actually hold up when you look at them, honestly, you know where to find us. Subscribe, stay uncomfortable.